Welcome, welcome to the F3 podcast where we discuss all things that pertain to faith, family, and finances. And remember, no subject is off limits. We are your hosts today. I am the lowly but humble Dr. Lionel M. Blair Sr.
The man servant.
I am the man servant of God. Okay, I am the most humble. And I'm sitting next to the grand, the glorious, the wonderful, the delicious.
What, babe?
Right. You are delicious. Uh, my wonderful wife, amen, Dr. Jasmine Blair, the sainted mother, Saint Jasmine the First.
Welcome everybody to the F3 podcast. If this is your first time with us, listen, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time we premiere a new episode. You can always take us with you on the go. You can find us on your favorite platform wherever your podcasts are streamed. Be sure to check out the information. We got some links there for you for our books and other products and services. And if you want to be an avid supporter of the podcast, click that link to find out more information. And if you've got a topic, a question you want us to answer, because listen, we got a lot of topics, but a lot of our material, you guys have questions, you guys want answers, and there are things that you want to know. So don't hesitate to reach out and say something, because remember, no subjects off limits. So we're going to talk about what your pastor wants. So we're going to go right into this episode, cultivating your called child, right? Because as we know, if you're gifted, you're anointed, and God is using you, God is growing you in your calling, it's very possible that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? Yeah. So you've got children that, you're starting to see their call develop. You're seeing the anointing, the hand of God on their life. But how do you do that while still allowing them to be a child and to have a quote unquote normal life? I've seen this done too many different ways, because we've got this whole plague, right, about the PKs, the pastor's kids, who have been through so much because they've seen so much, they've been through so much as the sake of being the child of a pastor. But then we got those that literally have ran from their call.
Yeah, that's true.
For various reasons. So how do we address this? Because we can't keep losing people before they reach adulthood from answering their call. But at the same time, you don't want to be overbearing, but then you don't want to be too lackadaisical. So what can we do? I'm going to kick this over to you. When it comes to a child that's called, what are some of the things that come to your mind? Let's say we got a child that's 10, 12, they've got a call on their life. It's evident the anointing's on their life. What next? What should we be doing?
Well, first of all, I want to start off by saying this. I was with that called a child.
I should have brought another bowl of popcorn. Go ahead.
I was that called child.
Mm-hmm.
Now my grandmother did everything she could to keep me in church.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in a traditional Baptist church. Now the power of God did flow at times. First time I got slain the first time I got slain in the spirit was when the Reverend Dr. Floyd M. Blackwell laid his hands on me and he said, "Ikata Masika," and I fell on the floor. I think I'm gonna remember them tongues as long as I live. Because he said, "Ikata Masika," that was his tongues. And I'm telling you, I was on that floor for like 15 minutes. Got up, I was woozy. That power was still sitting on me. I ain't never felt nothing like that in my life. All right. So I was once that called child who God would used to speak to, and I knew God was talking to me. I started writing sermons. I had an interest in the Bible and the things of God. When you have a child that's interested in the things of God like that, you are supposed to cultivate that. Now, as far as their childhood and having a normal life, they're never going to have a normal life.
Woo! Pause there.
Let me just say that. When the hand of God is on you, period, you're not going to have a normal life. So you have to prepare your child to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have to be prepared to know that they're going to struggle with that. They're going to struggle with their difference. You got to be there for them. I struggled with my difference, but I didn't have nobody to really cultivate me in my difference and to make me confident in my difference, because I never had my self-esteem built up.
Mm-hmm.
properly. You know, telling somebody, oh, you can be anything you want to be. My grandma used to tell me all the time, you can be anything you want to be, and blah 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 blah. That ain't build me up. All right,
That can be anything you want to be. Can be a good thing or a bad
yeah,
thing.
I still got to go to school. I still got to go to school where they teasing me, and I got to fight just to, I got to throw hands just for them to leave me alone.
Oh,
Oh no, I'm good now. But
yeah, but that's so sad.
well,
That's
I am
sad.
who I am now by the grace of God.
Yeah.
But I think if I had the right cultivation, I would have been fighting folk and picking up whole desks and throwing it at them across the room. Because I developed anger problems.
Mm-hmm.
I developed anger problems. Constantly being attacked like that.
Yeah.
But you have to prepare them to accept their difference, knowing that people are not going to accept them for who they are, because they're insecure in who they are.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You gotta cultivate that kind of confidence in your child. Knowing that the hand of God is on them, they're going to be different. But if they accept the difference, though some things that they may be deprived of some things now, but they have an even brighter future.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You got to cultivate their difference, but at the same time, give them some sense of normalcy. Take them out somewhere. Take them to a theme park. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's okay for them to have friends, as long as they have friends as long as the parents seem to share the same values as you. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? That all of that is okay. You know, but I grew up very lonely. I didn't have nobody to really relate to like that. So then I went to the streets.
Mm.
You know, I went to the streets. So while you're trying to provide normalcy, seek to cultivate your child's relationships in a way with other children who have parents that have the same values as you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Um, and just continue to also make room for their gifting. Make room for their gifting. Encourage them to operate in their gifting. Don't give them no title. Okay,
Uh-oh.
don't give them no title. All right. But cultivate them in their gifting. you know um I look at our son now. I mean, he's really into God. He's really into science, and he's into some other stuff. You see what I'm saying? And we've had many talks about how we could cultivate him now, and how we're going to continue to cultivate him
Yeah.
in the future, because I don't want him losing who he is, trying to fit in with a world he's called to be a partaker in changing.
And likewise, you don't want him to lose his uniqueness trying to
Right.
fit into the church scene.
Yeah. Because my son is a nerd. He's a nerd. Okay, and I want to cultivate every bit of nerdiness in him. I'm not gonna make him go out there and play football.
He do want to play baseball though.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll see. But see, now I do want to get him in a self defense class. I am going to do that. I am going to put him in a self defense class. You need to learn how to take a hit. Um, but I'm not going to force him. And see, that's what a lot of y'all do too. Y'all try to, in the name of trying to balance them, you try to force them into a mold that will further traumatize them.
Yeah, and that's probably why you have a lot of pastors' kids that get to a place where they're disinterested.
Yeah.
They're forced to be a part of stuff. They're forced to go to all kinds of stuff, and they don't even have many options. That's
Right.
why I respect the few pastors that we do know to say, you know what, I'm going to allow my children to pursue their healthy interests
Right.
to provide some type of normalcy. We're not
Yeah.
forcing them one way or the other, but they're having a good, healthy balance.
Yeah.
What if your child don't grow up to take over your church? What if they grow up
Right.
to go work at NASA somewhere and create some kind of new equation or solution?
Well, I don't know why y'all try to raise y'all natural kids to take over your church.
It's like that post. It was like, why every woman got to be pregnant with a with a prophet?
Jesus Christ.
You might have a dentist in there,
Yeah, you may have a dentist. You
a
may have a president.
veterinarian,
A president. A president.
a lawyer, a school teacher.
Yeah, man.
Everybody is not pregnant with a prophet.
People need to people need to stop that foolishness. My God, who need to stop that foolishness? Oh, there's a prophet in your belly. Prophet or someone who's going to profit. I need somebody who will profit too. Okay, there's a millionaire in your belly. I need to hear that. And
well, the factory is closed for renovations and
he
upgrades.
and she gonna be rich, and guess what? They're gonna take care of you. Ibashata, bless the Lord.
So you won't be getting any reports. The factory's closed.
Oh yeah, I know. I know the factory
I just want to put that out.
Oh no. We ain't had no more. We ain't had no more. God gonna have to come down from heaven. Okay. He
Can y'all see that? Why you using my leg as a table? That's not an armrest.
It's my armrest. I love them thighs. But anyway, so amen. Amen. He my thighs, bless. Hey, shut up. Oh, bless God. Bless God. But we are losing. We are losing our gifted children.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying all children, some kids stand out from the rest. Let's just be honest. Some kids stand out from the rest. So I think that we are losing our kids to the world because the church don't have enough balance and enough wisdom to cultivate children correctly.
Ooh, that's good.
That's
why I hate youth ministry.
Yeah, like youth pastors are not.
Now there's some good ones out there. Let me just get a disclaimer. It don't mean that everybody is terrible. You got some great youth pastors doing some awesome things. But I hate youth ministry as a whole. I used to be an assistant youth pastor. For those of you that don't know, that are new to Fox. So I got to work firsthand with a lot of these kids. I worked with the teenagers at that time, like the 12, 13 and 17. And I enjoyed what I did, but I hated it because the parents were not really going home to instill the things of God in their children.
Right.
In an effort to want them not to be too spiritualized for them to have a normal life, we were losing them. And then they was ending up pregnant at 15, 16, 17.
Jesus Christ.
Because your minister so-and-so, but you letting your child live like Corinthians gone wild Monday through Saturday. You can't do that. And then you crying when they probably don't understand what happened.
It's your fault.
You did not give any healthy parameters. You allowed them to live a wild life under your watch. That's what happened. And so it became draining because it's like, okay, I'm trying to steal the word in you, but your parents literally letting you do whatever the heck you want to do. Why am I waste my time? Primarily, this is your job as a parent. That whole train the child in the way they should go. So when they grow old, they want to depart from it. That's the parent's job. But you have a lot of parents that are putting this off on the youth pastors and making it their responsibility. And they want, I want them to do this and this. Your child can make straight A's. They can play basketball. They can get a full scholarship, have all these degrees and LLCs and be on their way to hell because you're more interested in them having a normal life than you are in them answering their call.
Right. Because see, ultimately, we all are going to be judged for how we answered our calling. First of all, we're going to be judged for our love walk. In its proper balance, of course, because some of y'all love other stuff more than you love God. Some of y'all love folk more than you love God. But we're going to be judged in our love walk for God and for our neighbor. Then we're going to be judged for how we answered our call. And a lot of you parents are going to be judged for killing your child's call in the name of normalcy. Can I say this again?
Come on now.
Your child will never be normal if the hand of God is on them. I ain't never been normal. I tried to live normal. Even people in the streets recognize I was different. One time I was out there smoking weed with some of the boys. They were like, man, listen, go home, bruh.
Dang.
This is my old neighborhood, right? I was no longer living in there, but I lived like around the corner from my old neighborhood. They was like, listen, bruh, go home. Like, I don't know what you're doing out here, man. Go home, bruh. Go home.
Mm.
You need to go home.
Go home, please.
Because I preached my first sermon at 12.
Mm.
I preached my first sermon at 12. Hand of God was on me early. But it was not properly cultivated. So by the time I was 13 going on 14, baby, I'm back out in the streets. I don't know what's going on. You know, I lost my mind, went in the mental hospital.
Mm.
Stayed in there about a week. Like I tried to commit suicide. Like I had all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But see, they heard, oh, he used to be a preacher, and I denied it.
Oh,
I'm sitting up here lying because I'm trying to get high. I'm trying to get high, and you blowing my high, bruh. Like,
that's because the hand of God was on your life, though.
Even they knew. Even they knew. They like, man, go home, bruh. Like,
see, you were gonna Jonah them people. They were gonna get in trouble trying to help you out.
Probably. So as much as I tried to be normal, I never was normal. And you're doing I'm telling you from experience, you are going to do those children a disservice.
Yes.
Trying to get them to be normal. Okay. Those are the children you reel in.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the children you reel in. You take a little more time with them. Right. Because they'll probably rise up and be the leaders of the rest. But those are the children you reel in, not shelter, but you give them a different experience.
That's right. And different experience don't got to be boring either.
No. Like, listen, it's okay. It's okay to go places and enjoy yourself. But
yeah.
But when the hand of God is some children, and see, we got to get back to this. Some children are called to sleep by the ark.
Oh, that's a cuss word today.
Some kid,
because you got to actually cultivate the ark. Anyway, go ahead.
Some kids, hear me prophetically and apostolically. Some kids are called to sleep by the ark. And you want them out playing with the other kids when they're supposed to be sleeping by the ark and serving in the temple.
Ooh.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you, a lot of y'all gonna be judged severely. That's why I believe some of y'all parents, you're stricken with sickness. A lot of y'all parents, you're struggling in your own marriage.
Y'all done brought the prophet out now.
A lot of you parents, okay, some of you got ministries, you struggling in your own ministries. Your child growed up to hate you now and stuff like that. Why? Because that's a judgment. The hand of God was on them, and you try to take the hand of God, or you try to dictate the hand of God on them.
Because you want them to be normal.
No. Some children are just called to sleep by the ark because they're Israel's next deliverer.
Ooh.
You don't know. And see, now you're interfering with the plan of God. You're interfering with the plan of God. And you're going to mess around and be judged like Eli, sit back and get your neck broken. I'm trying to tell you. And God will cut off your whole lineage from the priesthood. Hear me. Hear ye the word of the Lord. For a lot of y'all parents, are going to be judged severely by God. And you're going to be cut off early because the hand of God was on your child. And what you decide to do, and you wanted to be a child. And you wanted to be a child. Jesus didn't have no normal childhood. Come on, the prophet Samuel, he was dedicated as a child to the work of God.
He didn't even have a chance. As soon as he was weaned,
he was given to the priest. You understand what I'm saying? Why is it that Eastern cultures understand this, but we don't? That's why children over there are smarter than our kids, for real. It's very few. You have some kids like they're just smart. You could tell the hand of
Yeah.
God is on them in a special way, rather it's for fivefold or it's for other things in life to do big things. Some kids grow up, they just grow up talking different. They grow up talking different and things like that. That's because the hand of God is on them for something specific. And then you got some kids here that grow up, they just dumb as hell. I'm like,
Hey.
your mama failed you, baby. We need to reschool you. Come on over here. We need to reschool you. I you know, kids grow up. You can tell they have a natural intelligence that's still developing.
Yeah.
You know, I hear
Unhealthy naivety.
right. I hear our son and his friends, right, and sometimes the conversation they have, I be laughing my butt off. you know, just to hear them have healthy conversation and dialogue and
You
things
can
like
hear the
that.
greenness because they're children. You can
Yeah,
hear
you
the
can hear the greenness,
innocence.
you can hear the greenness and the innocence, but you can also hear the intelligence that is developing,
Hmm.
right?
You don't want to hear that from a grown person. It's like,
No,
eh.
yeah, but some of these children are dumb as hell.
Stop.
How you a child and you're still supposed to be learning, but you that dumb. But then you got to go by the environment. And see, these old ghetto kids, they be talking, yeah, 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 saying, and yeah,
Mm,
saying, and you sounding like a mumble rapper when you talk.
mm-mm.
You know,
We got to do better, y'all.
we got to do better.
These are not the future teachers and police officers and congressmen. No, we got to do better. We
You
got to do
know,
better.
yeah, I,
You know, people was
our
worried about our
education is.
generation, but no, it's
Is
no.
this coming generation?
Mm-mm.
I'm very concerned about. It started with us, really.
Yeah, it started, but we won't that
No,
bad.
because at least we could play outside.
Mm-hmm.
Now kids can't play outside. I wouldn't dare let LJ play outside the way society is
Not with
now.
random strangers the way we did coming up. Life is
Nah,
clearly different.
yeah, yeah,
So when it comes to cultivating your child, when we talk about okay, doing our part as parents to raise them in their call, you know, I can't tell you how many people swear up and down. Now, just like how you were saying, how you got some kids that's dumb, you got some people that swear their child is anointed, and they very might well have the call, but it's not being cultivated. You teach your child around. You haven't even taught them the gospels. Are you even teaching them the Bible at home?
yeah. See,
Come
that's
on
another thing.
now.
You got to have that foundation in
Well,
that
look at
word.
them. They're anointed. They're going to be a priest. Can you teach them the word? Can you teach them to start to live the lifestyle? Can you teach them worship? Can you teach them the understanding of the times and seasons? Some of y'all brag that y'all children is anointed just because you anointed, but you're not actually putting any effort into it. Why are we not putting any effort into it? Come on now. You got to teach them something for where they are. That was the other thing I hated about youth ministry. Well, they're just kids. So if they can learn how to cuss each other out of school and fight, they can learn the word.
For real.
We've got to stop limiting like you said, you can hear the innocence, we can hear the intelligence. We have to stop limiting the understanding of the things of God of children because they're children, but then we don't put limits on their understanding of the things of the world. If they know how to cuss, they know how to pray.
For real.
If they can tell another child, shut up, they can worship. I refuse to believe that is not possible. The only reason they're not able to do is because you're not cultivating that in them.
I mean, we've taught the kids in our ministry to prophesy and everything else. We've trained kids in the prophetic.
Mm-hmm. Taking kids through deliverance,
Yeah,
fill kids with the Holy Ghost.
yeah,
If they can cuss, they can pray.
yeah.
They can tell somebody, leave it alone. They can pray.
But again, it goes back to cultivation. You want to instill the right things in your children.
Yeah.
If you want your child to serve God, instill God in them. You know,
Uh-uh. Duh. That sounds like so obvious, right?
yeah, but some folks slow.
Instilling
Um,
God in them is more than taking them to church. They've done the
for
math.
real.
Somewhere between 40% and 80% of kids are lost to the faith by the time they end high school. So, regardless of you want to go on the low end of 40%, the high end of 80%, or we want to fall in the middle about 55, 60%, that's too many kids that are being lost to the faith before they're adults. Taking them to church is not enough.
I'm gonna tell you something. My grandmother and my aunt Wanda kept me around the word.
Yeah.
They kept taking me to church. And my grandmother really instilled the word into me. And my great grandmother, um, whenever I used to stay the night over her house, every night before we went to bed, her and I would quote Psalms 23.
Mm.
You know,
Wow.
every night, right? They kept the word in me, right? So even when I started living this crazy life and disappointing them and all this other stuff, right? That seed though,
Mm.
that seed kept working. That seed kept working in my conscience. That's why even though I was doing wrong, I knew it was wrong. You know, that's why at times I did pray. Even I was mad at God. I was mad at God one season of my life. I hated God.
Mm.
You know, but what was instilled in me caused me to come back to Him.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? The Bible says, "Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he's old, he shall not depart from it." It says when he's old. So even if he goes through a period where he's struggling in his faith, he's not going to totally depart from it. You got to put the right things in your children, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I find myself every once in a while having conversations with my son even now about how the world is,
Yeah. That's real.
but how he's supposed to be in the midst of a world like this. You know, um, I never thought in a million years I would have to have a conversation, well, or even thought about having a conversation with my son about two men kissing each other and and homosexual relationships and all that other stuff. I never thought I would have to even explain that to him.
Yeah.
You know, but this is the world that we're living in, and
Mm-hmm.
even though righteousness is increasing, so is wickedness.
Yeah.
So so if you don't want your child to be influenced by the wickedness around, then you're gonna have to establish righteousness in them. And even if they stray into wickedness, that righteousness you planted in them is going to torment them. It's going to torment them in a good way, because because the two seeds going to be wrestling each other,
Yeah.
and righteousness always wins. So if you have a gifted child, right? If you have a gifted child, if you have a child uh, uh, who is showing signs of, y'all know what being gifted look like. Y'all know when the hand of God is on your child, whether it's for ministry or for other things, or if they show increased intelligence in a certain area. Okay, it is your job as parents, not youth pastors. It's your
Uh-oh.
job as parents to cultivate that, and you might as well get rid of that sense of normalcy. Cause see, a lot of times when y'all be wanting them to live normal and y'all have them doing stuff you know they shouldn't be doing, that plants the wrong seeds. Now, of
Mm-hmm.
course, you don't want to be this sheltering helicopter parent.
No.
Pray for my deliverance. Um, you don't want you don't want to be that sheltering helicopter parent. That's why you have to give them other experiences.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You have to give them other experiences. All right. But nevertheless, they will never be normal. And you gonna have to be okay with that. And they gonna have to be okay with that. They may even wrestle with it. But in their adult years, they're gonna thank you.
That's real. Any closing remarks?
Raise your kids right.
You got to
Okay.
do more than drag them to church. You need to cultivate and instill the word in them. Cultivate a prayer life, cultivate a worship life.
Yeah, for real. But raise your kids right. And if you got a child, they're little on the slow side, that can be fixed. For real. Yeah,
And
some
even
some
if
some of y'all laughing, but
they're wavering, some of you might have a split home, single parent, shared custody situation. Keep that child in prayer and do your part. God is going to look out for them and keep his hand on them, but don't allow your situation to be an excuse for why you don't do your part.
right, for real.
Yeah, but you're right though. That stuff can be fixed.
It can be
Give them the
fixed.
help that they need. Change their diet. Get them eating some real food. Stop them from eating cookies, cakes, pies, and ice cream, and Doritos and Funyuns and hot chips and all. Get them eating some food, some vegetables and some greens, and they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Yeah,
And lay that child before the altar regularly, so God can do a work in them.
yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we want to thank you for joining us on the F3 podcast. Again, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Click the link to find out how you can be an avid supporter of the podcast, as well as suggest your show topic. Because remember, we'll talk about what your pastor wants. Until next time on the F3 podcast, goodbye.